Cocaine is a devastating drug that will take everything from you. However, there is hope, and today we'll learn some things about it.
Yeah, so today we're going to teach you about some facts about cocaine. What is the difference between cocaine and crack? And also why it's so dangerous. So thank you for joining us today, and we'll get right into it. Here are some facts about cocaine.
Cocaine is a powder made from the leaves of the cocoa plant. It's used as a recreational drug. It is primarily produced in Colombia, Peru, and Bolivia.
It costs about $400 to $800 to make a kilo of cocaine in the jungles. And by the time it makes it to the streets in the United States, that $400 and $800 can be turned into $150,000 in sales.
Cocaine is a stimulant of the nervous system, the central nervous system. It ignites a massive amount of dopamine in the brain. It creates a rush, like a euphoria.
And cocaine is either snorted, it's smoked, or it's shot up in the veins with a needle.
As a nation, the U.S. is the highest consumption of cocaine in the world, and estimated that 5.2 million U.S. citizens used cocaine in the last month. That's roughly 2 out of every 100 people.
And one of the questions is, can you die from cocaine overdose? Yes. In 2020, 19,447 people died of overdoses related to cocaine, most often associated with a failed heart. And as we were talking before, Holly said that that's the reported cases, and I'm sure there's many, many more.
The cost of using cocaine for a regular user is between $80,000 and $175,000 a year. And that's true. My husband and I spent about $60,000 in less than 9 months, and we were buying and selling.
And so when was that? How long ago?
1979, 80.
1979 and 80. So it's just devastating on your finances. Now, one of the questions we're often asked is, what is the difference between cocaine and crack? Well, cocaine and crack's made from the same substance, or the same powder, yet crack is made by cooking the powder with baking soda, creating like a soft white solid that can be smoked. And when smoked, the solid begins to make like a crackling sound, and that's how it gets its name, crack.
Yeah. When cocaine is snorted, it takes about 10 minutes to experience euphoria, or a high, a rush, and it may last up to an hour. Smoked crack takes about 8 seconds to experience euphoria and lasts for about 5-15 minutes. IV cocaine gets in the system quickly, like crack, yet tends to last longer.
So the major difference is they both create euphoria, but crack gets into your system through your lungs in about 8 seconds, whereas if you snort it, it can take up to 10 minutes. So you can see the crack is just the real quick hit that a person experiences, an intense high. When you look at cost, a gram of cocaine costs around $150 a gram compared to crack, which is around $60. So it's less than half the price in terms of crack. And in general, you can say that a person can have 25 hits of cocaine per gram.
I guess it depends on how you divvy it up. I mean, that's what they call a hit. It's like really small. Crack is cheaper, it's faster acting, high, and more intense euphoria that doesn't last as long.
Where cocaine is more expensive, it's a quick and intense euphoria, but not as quick as crack is. And it lasts a longer period of time. So both of them are made from the same substance. You still get the same euphoria. It's talking about the quickness it gets in the system, and how long it lasts in the system is the primary difference between cocaine and crack.
Yeah, cocaine, we used to call it the rich man's drug.
The rich man's drug.
Yeah, you got to have money to do it and to continue to do it. Yeah.
What about crack?
That's a poor man's drug, we would say.
That's what you would say.
Yeah, that's what we would say on the streets.
So why is cocaine dangerous? It's highly addictive, and it creates a strong psychological euphoric recall, right?
Yeah. Like just I haven't used in over 39 years. And just having to do this show, I can feel my nose running. I can, I'm agitated, definitely. And, my veins are pulsing.
Just from talking about it.
Yes.
Wow. In addition to euphoria, it creates paranoia, agitation.
Definitely.
Is that why you aggravated?
Yes. That's why I'm aggravated.
Loss of appetite.
I wish you would do that to me today.
Insomnia, anxiety, mental and physical exhaustion, creates high blood pressure and heart issues. If you're snorting cocaine, it often creates nose issues in terms of the lining of the nose gets damaged.
I had to have surgery because I had a hole in my nose from getting cocaine for my 19th birthday, and I snorted it, and it was pretty pure, and it ate up a hole in my nose.
Wow.
And I did surgery, when I met you, 9 years later.
9 years later.
Because I couldn't breathe through my nose.
Yeah, it creates lung issues if you're smoking it. And then, like any IV drug use, if you're taking it through the veins with IV needles, that all the dangers that go with that, the sharing of needles, the spreading of disease, it just causes a lot of health problems. The other thing about cocaine is that studies show that the increased levels of dopamine or the dopamine hit are similar to what happens when someone is having a schizophrenic or psychotic issue. And perhaps that's why it explains the paranoia, huh?
Yeah. Yes. Well, because your dopamine's so high, it really causes high paranoia. Not at first or in the beginning, but as you continue, you start to not trust others. And then, at some point you start looking out the window, you start isolating more.
Yeah, and I think that has something to do with as time goes on, it takes more and more to get the same kind of high that you begin chasing. And then those higher amounts start having impact on your brain.
Yeah.
And if it mimics a psychotic episode for someone who has schizophrenia, you can see how it can create different mental health issues by using cocaine on a regular basis.
Yeah.
The other question is, does it damage your brain? Well, I want you to take a look at this SPECT scan. In this particular scan, it's basically evaluates brain activity. And the more brain activity you have, the more lighter the colors are of this brain. Where there's holes or where it's dark is where there's little to no brain activity. And this is a 24-year-old with 2 years history of frequent cocaine use. And I want you to notice in the picture the multiple holes across the brain along the cortical surface. And this is directly related to the abuse of cocaine in just 2 years.
Yeah.
There's also, why is cocaine dangerous? The violence associated with the transportation and the turf wars that have to do with the distribution of cocaine absolutely destroys communities. And it's mildly estimated that 17,000 people are brutally murdered every year because of turf wars, because of the guarding of the transportation, the cartels fighting each other. And I'm sure it's a lot more than that, but that's a mild estimate of 17,000 people are slaughtered every year because of cocaine distribution.
And that's just what they see out. So it's a hidden industry.
Yeah.
It's in the dark. The devastation of addiction, destroys individuals. It destroys marriages. It destroys their children. It destroys relationships between everybody they love. Destroys your finances. And then obviously you can end up in some serious criminal stuff, like I was a convicted felon at 19.
Yeah, and I know you experienced consequences in all those areas just in a very short period of time, because the window that you used was basically a 2 or 3 year period, huh? In terms of cocaine?
17 to 22.
So it was 5 years. And the devastation that you experienced was you suffered in each one of these areas, huh?
Yes, definitely. No, my marriage was ruined. Couldn't have children. Still couldn't have children through my life. All my relationships were destroyed. You know, we used all the money, sold our house, did everything, and then ended up in the legal system where I was a convicted felon. And it took many years after I got sober to be pardoned and expunged, which the only reason for I got that was because I wanted, the first one was because I wanted to work in the field of addiction to help others. And second, when we went to adopt our child.
Yeah, and so this is just one example of the multiple devastation that it's caused. And when you times that by thousands and thousands of people that are using cocaine on
Yeah.
a regular basis, it's just massive devastation to our cities, our states, our country, and really around the world.
Yeah.
So we'd like to share with you now a great resource if you want to go in deeper into what is cocaine, difference between cocaine and crack, and just get a deeper understanding of that. There's a book by Hazelton, a quick guide called Get Smart About Cocaine and Crack. I'll leave a link in the description below so that you can get an e-copy of this very short, it's about 65 pages book, but it's very informative. And we also want you to know that if you want to learn the 3 steps that have helped many break the bondage of addiction, we invite you to watch this next video, and it will help you learn the process of breaking free. So we appreciate your time today, and we say,
See you in the next video.
God bless.